Harry, today's topic is on getting today right, and Ruth is an example of that in the Bible. So we're going to start off in Ruth chapter 1, verse 22, and Ruth chapter 2, verse 2. So Naomi returned from Moab, accompanied by Ruth the Moabite, her daughter in law, arriving in Bethlehem as the barley harvest was beginning. And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor." Naomi said to her, "Go ahead, my daughter."
Yeah, so they arrive at the beginning of the barley harvest. But first, a little bit of background. Naomi and Ruth, her daughter in law, are arriving home from Moab. They both have lost their husbands there. They arrive in Israel destitute and penniless, except that Ruth is rich in faith to her newfound people, country, and God. In that she is rich. She is the future great grandmother to King David, and she too is of the line of Jesus. They arrive in the Passover season. On their calendar, Passover is on Nisan 14. The next day is the Feast of Unleavened Bread in Nisan 15. And then we have the first fruits on Nisan 16. And it's also called the beginning of the barley harvest. Nisan 16, first fruits, is also when Jesus rose on Sunday morning, her descendant many years later. Naomi and Ruth have arrived penniless. There's an opportunity to be had. There is work to do. By Jewish law, poor people are allowed to glean grain in the fields behind the harvesting crews. The heads of grains that are missed are designed for the poor. Ruth qualifies. She is poor and destitute. She begs to go to work. She gets the day right.
Mhm.
She goes out to the first field she comes to. Before long, the boss man shows up, and who is Boaz. He asked, "Who is this new harvester lady?" And they tell him. Boaz tells Ruth how kind she is to care for Naomi, a relative of his, and tells her to stay in his fields for the whole harvest. Could you read chapter 2:23?
So Ruth stayed close to the woman of Boaz to glean until the barley and wheat harvests were finished, and she lived with her mother in law.
She stayed until the barley and wheat harvest were completed. That also is called Pentecost or Feast of Harvest, the finishing of the harvest, and that's 50 days later. She worked the whole season. Each day she worked hard. Each day she got today right. She was faithful, reliable, and predictable. So, how did that all turn out? Godly richly blessed her. Her boss, Boaz, recognized her natural and godly qualities and married her. Now she is rich in every way. So, how can we become rich today? The same way. Could you read chapter 1, 16 and 17?
But Ruth replied, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me."
That was her pledge to God and to Israel. Every day she kept faithful to her promise. She got every day right. Next month, next year, do not matter. Do not matter. Starting today, we get today right, seek God, work hard, and love others. Done. Good. You got the first day right. Nice job. Do that 7 times, and we have the week right. Do that 4 weeks, and we have the month right. You get it. That's what Ruth did. That's what Jesus did. And that's what we can do.
Yeah, and you know what's a good thing about just getting today right is it takes all pressure off, right? In Matthew chapter 6, verse 34, Jesus says, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for today has enough worry of its own." If we get today right, we're in a good place with God, regardless of how many bad days we've had before. And then let's just, like you're saying, keep that ball rolling and get day after day after day right. And you'll see huge amount of growth a year later or so forth.
Yeah, and the other part is if you have a bad day, don't be careful. Don't mess it up even more. Just a slow day, then just salvage what you can and don't do anything stupid. And if you have a really good day, don't do anything stupid either. Those are the days we mess up the most. Got to be careful every day. try to circle the wagons and get them right as possible. And the next day will be better anyway. So it's all good.
All right. Thanks a lot for this, Harry.
Thank you.